Hello and welcome to another episode of the Popcorn Dialogues podcast. I am your host, Rosh.
And I'm your host, Nam.
And we are diving into the rest of The Boys seasons 2, 3, and 4.
So join us on this crazy ride.
Before the final season.
Yeah. Okay, so we're jumping straight into we looked at Boys season 1.
Yeah.
We wanted to do
the intention was to do a season
each, an episode per season, but that's not happening.
But that didn't happen.
Yeah.
So we're diving into the rest of the show. We are not really doing a play-by-play.
No.
We're just going to assume that anybody who is here and listening has, of course, seen
already
the show.
Watched it. Yeah, we did the same thing with the season 1 episode.
With
as well.
the season 1 episode. So yeah, I think we're just going to be talking about, things that have happened,
key points,
key characters, how it's all going to unfold in season 5. We don't know, of course, but culminate in the final season. We've gotten some little tidbits from Mr. Eric Kripke himself in the last couple of days, just to keep Wix warm.
Because they had the premiere.
They had the premiere in Rome a couple of days ago, actually.
Yeah.
And so they've given us a little bit of very limited information.
Yeah.
But we will talk about that in lead up to we'll talk about it at the end of this episode in lead up to season 5.
Yeah.
What it all means.
Yeah, so season 2, we pick up right at the end. Well, they're all in hiding, essentially.
Yeah.
And they're not in a good place.
No, they're not in a good place. Annie's not in a good place.
Nope.
No one is really in a good place if you think about it.
It's misery central.
Because ATrain's had his heart attack and he's in hospital.
Yes.
So, so that's everybody's misery central, basically.
Especially Huey.
Huey goes through it in season 2.
Oh, Huey is
you talk about someone who's in bad shape. It's Huey in season 2. Huey in season 2 is the definition of depression.
Because it's season 1, he's still sort of yes, he's lost Robin, and it's all the shock of it, and then he gets involved with the boys, but the depression really hits him in season 2
because everything. When you think about how it left off in the end of season 1, he basically gets abandoned by Butcher for the cause because he's well, I'm going to go and find MM and Frenchie and Kimiko and save them. And Butcher just goes the opposite direction to go after Stillwell and Homelander. So he's kind of we should both go. We need to save the boys, and Butcher's just nah,
I'm going to do my own thing.
So he's really feeling the effects of that.
Yeah.
And Butcher at this point is MIA. We don't know where he is at the start of the season.
Yeah.
Because, of how season 1 ended with him ending up at Becca's place.
Yeah, Becca's alive.
Seeing that Becca is alive, that she's got a son, Ryan, and it's Homelander's son as well.
Yeah.
So, and it all ends in a bright white light, and we don't know what has happened.
Yeah.
So, where we pick up is that the boys are living in the Haitian King's basement, and Annie is in the tower. She's still very much she is Starlight, of course, but she is sort of leading a double life in that she keeps meeting Huey every now and then, because they are now at this point trying to find a way to get it out there that Compound V is a thing.
Yeah.
Everybody's kind of in a tough spot. And I think they continue to be throughout the season. Season 2 is not an easy season for them. I don't think any season ever is, but I think season 2 is where it really takes a toll, because even MM is away from his family, and they're all in each other, just on top of each other, and they're all biting each other's throats.
They're at each other's throats, because it is a very high stress situation that they're in.
Yeah.
So not that all the other situations are not high stress for them. It's always a high stress situation, but this especially because they don't have any contact with anyone outside of their little group.
Yeah.
Which is really sad. And Huey's not cut off, but he's not in contact with his dad as much as well, because he's not living with his dad and all of that stuff. So it's not good. It's not a great situation. But I think the season really sets up, I think season 2 was a great season that sets up the future of the whole show.
Yeah, for sure.
Because
this is where it starts. Because I feel like season 1, you could still watch it independently.
Yeah, season 1 kind of just introduces all the characters.
It's kind of a bit of a fun, crazy, kooky sort of show. And then season 2 is where really how we found ourselves into it being a political
it starts getting
sort
serious.
Of climate is where it starts in season 2.
It starts getting a bit serious.
Yeah.
And not just that, like it sets up through lines for stories, for characters, for plot lines, for like just everything, concepts that come up that do end up all the way through to season 4 and will now lead into season 5 as well. So I think that's why season 2 was like crucial.
Yeah,
it's a really, really good season.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say at this point any season has been bad, but season 2 was like great because it really hits the ground running, tells the audience exactly what's happening. Really gives you an idea of what characters are capable of as well. Or at least a glimpse into what they are capable of. Because like someone like Butcher, for example, we get to see Butcher and his relationship, you know, with his wife. Like we've only ever heard of Butcher and Becca, right? We haven't really seen them together. Unless it's like a flashback or whatever, but we really get to see them. But we also get an insight into Butcher and Becca's relationship, where it's like it's not this wonderful romantic relationship that they had, you know, like yes, there is love between the two of them, but Becca's very clear about some of the negatives that Butcher has, and she's very aware of those. And I really like that about it. And even someone like what's it called, like Frenchie, right? We get to see a really nice side of Frenchie in season 1, where he kind of like, you know, looks at Kamiko and he's all of a sudden like, you know, he takes her in and that sort of thing. But we get to see stuff that he's done that isn't the best either, you know, like, so we really get to see some of their past. We get to see potentially what they could be in the future. And we have now seen that in season 3 and 4. With some characters, like Butcher especially. We're not sure what we'll see in season 5 at this point. But we'll get to that bit. But season 2 was a great season when it comes to that.
Season 2, it sets up, like we were saying, it sets up what the show has become and where it's going. And I think, you know, we have like the main players that are on the board. And that all really kind of starts, you know, because the whole Butcher versus Homelander thing, of course it starts in season 1, but it's really in season 2 where we start to see them, like, he will always have this thing of wanting to get rid of Homelander because of what happened to Becca and what he has done to her, and therefore by extension to Billy, and ruined his life basically. But it really starts in season 2 if you think about it, because you know, he's like, Homelander is basically like always dropping on Becca. Always like trying to get into Ryan's life. And so there's that episode where Butcher eventually finds out where she's being kept, and he climbs the wall, and like, you know, they meet and everything, and she tells him that, you know, he's been coming here, and like, you know, so it's so interesting. Like every year they add another layer to this Butcher dynamic between them.
Homelander,
and like now it's sort of like gotten past the point of Becca, because Becca is obviously now dead and gone at this point, but it's now like about Ryan. Because
whereas in season 2 it's about Becca.
It's about Becca because Butcher is kind of like Ryan whatever, like he really doesn't care about him.
He doesn't. Yeah.
He even calls him a soup freak, basically.
Yeah.
But at the end, when she dies at the end of season 2, when she makes him promise, like, you know, he is good, please, like, look after him, don't let him become Homelander. And he gives Ryan over to Grace and like to protect him.
Yeah.
And then season 3 we see like the relationship and like the fallout of that as well.
Yeah.
But it's so interesting how he rejected it. But as Ryan is growing closer to Homelander, Butcher is also going further in to like try and pull him back.
Because I think that whole...
It's so good.
Yeah, it's so good. Like, I love the whole Butcher and Ryan relationship.
Yeah.
I think it's a very interesting relationship.
Yeah, again, all starts in season 2, really.
Yeah. And you know, as you mentioned, you go from seeing Butcher going, I really don't care what happens to this kid, to now going, I need to save this kid because he is half Becca, right?
Yeah.
And because he made a promise to her.
Yeah. Because just because he's half Homelander doesn't mean he's not then also half Becca and capable of being good.
So, exactly. Yeah. And so it's this very interesting trajectory. Like, obviously now we're going to have to see what the fallout of that is going to be in season 5, what that's going to look like. Yeah. Because up until season 3, really, we see these up and down. And then season 4, we really see a breakdown of that relationship. Where up until like season 3, Ryan sort of like season 2, Ryan really doesn't know Billy, but season 3, he really starts to get to know him. He trusts him because he knows how much Billy meant to his mother. Yeah. Billy is technically his stepfather, I guess. Yeah. But season 4 is when Ryan starts to grapple with, do I trust this man? Yeah. You know, like, does he have my best interests at heart? Yeah. And so I really like that little thing, because as Ryan is going through those doubts, Butcher himself is deteriorating. Yeah. In his own madness, where he's turning into, like, he's becoming more and more reckless. He's taking Temp V. He's, you know, growing tentacles. Yeah. All sorts of things. So Ryan's, like, sense of fear of him and lack of trust is actually justified. Yeah. Even though he's not really seen him do those things, but clearly this kid is getting some kind of sense, and he's being pulled in all these different directions. Yeah. So he knows that he's kind of in that spot where he's like, I can't trust Homelander, even though he's my dad. I don't trust him. He doesn't trust him. Yeah. I don't trust Billy. Who do I trust? Yeah. You know? And we'll talk a bit about Ryan later. But yeah, that's the kind of spot that we're in with Butcher. That's the kind of spot we're in with Butcher. And then, like, you know, the boys go through a lot in season 2. Like, I think we really see the, you know, like, we get, like, hints of them of what they were like 8 years ago when this group of them really started in season 1. But, like, this is where you really sort of learn the kind of stuff they've been through. Yeah. Like with the whole Mallory thing and her grandkids, and Frenchie being the one who had to protect them, like keep a lamplighter away from them. And then he failed at that task. And then how everybody was mad at Frenchie for like what happened without even knowing what the circumstances of like his friend having an overdose that same night and like all this stuff. And I think you really see the history of them in this season most because like they've been through a lot. And like there's that flashback as well where like it's the whole lamplighter situation and like, you know, MM being so excited to like propose to Monique and like it's just, you see that and like how like 8 years ago, even though they're doing these like really like tough dark things, they still have this air of like you know, normalcy around them. Yeah. Whereas they're don't not as have that anymore. And they're not as like hardened as they are now.
Really shows how they've been through a lot together and how that continues later on as well. Yeah. And I just, I really love seeing the history of them. Because like we can get like the history of Vought and like all this stuff and we will get that as well with the prequel, which we'll talk about a little bit later. But you know, seeing the history of the boys is really important too, because this is the group that we follow. Like, yes, they're all like anti-heroes and like they're not all good people, but they are our group and we are on their side compared to what the Seven and Vought are. So I really love that we get like their relationships also, like they're tough on each other and they have their fights and everything, but like they are so solid with each other.
Yes.
And then to see Annie join in with that this season too. This is kind of like the start of her, and then like they really like integrate her in season 3. And she becomes part of it by the end. But I just love I love seeing them, and like, you know, MM's history, Frenchie's, Butcher's, Kamiko's to some extent as well, with Shining Light, and her brother being introduced this season. And then, you know, the flip side to that is we get a new soup in season 2, Stormfront, played by Aya Cash, who is incredible and making me hate her so much. Oh my gosh. I remember when Stormfront came on the scene, I was like, ooh, she's
kind of cool.
I like her. And then
I remember when I was watching season 2, because I watched it after you, and I
was like,
no, I was like, oh my god, she's so cool, and you were like, wait and watch, and I was like, oh no.
And even like when she kills her brother, like Kamiko's brother and everything, it's still like, it's bad, and she says some like really awful things, but like it's not.
You don't realize how dark it's gonna get.
Realize how dark it gets, and then like you start hearing her say stuff to ATrain about like how they let all the wrong sorts of people into the church, and and you know, stuff like that, and I was like, oh wait,
I know, like her racism is very interesting how they've introduced it, because it doesn't happen all of a sudden. In fact, they lull the audience into like the sense of like, oh my god, she's so cool, right? She's so like,
she's spunky and
exactly
awesome.
And she's very much like, you know, stick it out to the man and that sort of thing, like,
and
she's
stick
a
it to Vought,
stick it to Vought, like, who cares, right? And you're like, oh my gosh, this is kind of cool, anti-establishment thing. But then you realize, as she's going with her, like, you know, little bits, and you see all the things that she's doing and saying, it's very insidious. And then you're going, it's almost as if you go, did she just say that? Like, did she actually just say that? Or
I remember when I was
things?
watching it the first time around, I was like, what is she implying about ATrain?
Yes.
Like, what? And I was like, oh no, I'm surely
not. It catches you off guard.
And then like it slowly like starts descending into that. And you're like, oh, and then when she's like, we're in a war for the culture, and I was like, oh, right, okay,
it goes crazy.
I was like, oh, and then the whole reveal of her being Frederick Vaught's wife, and she was the first successful V injection. Again, history of art. Love seeing that. And she's
basically
a Nazi.
Exactly, the Nazis, right? And
because you sort of get that when Edgar's talking to Homelander, and he's like, you know, he got spirited away. Like Dr. Vought was, you know, was on that, like, that side, and then he got spirited away by the Allies and became as Wonder Bread American as Disney and Edison. So like there is that implication that that's what it was, but then like to see it with her, and the stuff that she says, oh god, it's terrifying.
It really is. And then you know, she kind of like, obviously we get the thing that really then starts off with the through line of the plot line is that whole culture war. And she basically convinces Homelander, because at this point Homelander isn't really thinking in those terms. He's not thinking culture wars. He's not thinking. He's only concerned about himself. He's like, what do I look good in, and you know, blah blah and all this. He's got a little bit of a thing with Ryan, because he's like, oh, I've got a son, and it's more an intimidation tactic that he's using with Becca. It's not anything to do with that. But then she manages to manipulate that narcissistic side of him and go, you are the Ubermensch. You are the ultimate man that we have always wanted to achieve, you know? And now you can be that master race sort of thing, right? And so that little thing, and that through line that ultimately we see in season 3 and season 4, where we see that whole nationalistic, you know, political bent of what's going on with the boys. This is where it starts. This is the kernel of it. This is that little kernel that starts. And it is such a good little, like, when I was watching it initially, I was like, oh, is this just going to be like a season thing?
Yeah.
No, but they've stuck with something like that, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's not as like, oh, we are Nazis.
Yeah.
That's not what it is. But it's that, evolution of it.
Yeah.
And that very extreme right-wing ideology that people have, like, that is pretty prevalent in not just the United States, but in a lot of places right now.
Yeah.
And it's so reflective of like what's going on. And it's like, oh my God, season 2.
Season 2 really like how I'm saying, like it really starts off this journey we are going on now. And yeah, but like that reveal of her, I mean, she's not really killed, but she is like burnt to a crisp by Ryan.
Yeah.
And she's kind of gone back to her default settings.
I know,
of
that was
German.
quite funny actually. She starts mumbling.
Yeah. But like at that point, like it's been revealed to the public that she's Nazi, and ATrain is the one who is like given the information to Huey and Annie, and like his trajectory is also,
and that's where the character through line comes in as well.
Character through line,
with ATrain, because
A-Train.
all of season 1 we have hated this man.
Oh yeah,
hated him to the point where I'm like, die.
I hated him a lot. But I don't think I've seen anyone hate him the way you hated him.
Oh my goodness, I hated ATrain.
Like every time he would come onto screen.
Him.
And I think by that point I was like watching a lot of like behind the scenes and like, all that stuff. So I was like, oh, Jesse's great. He's a great guy. I really like him. Yeah. So like for me, it was like I was able to separate, But you at that point, it was just A-Train for you. So you were just like, I hate this guy.
I would look at A-Train anytime in any scene. I'd be like, I hate this guy. He needs to die
so much. Yeah,
I've gone from that to going, oh my goodness, I love A-Train.
I love A-Train. Love him. Oh my God.
So this is where we get A-Train's little, not redemption arc, but this is where we get to see that there is perhaps a
something
bit of
going
hope
on there. Yeah.
There's something going on there when he realizes, because at this point Deep is with the Church of the Collective. Which is so funny.
Oh my God.
And A-Train sort of is also not involved, but like the Church of Collective is kind of like vetting all these different soups. Yeah. Because they want to get back in the good graces of the 7.
Yeah.
And so basically the two candidates are Deep and A-Train. And A-Train gets fed this information that the Nazis are involved with Vought, and he's just like appalled at this point, and he's like, this is too far for me.
Well, not fed, he finds it.
He finds the information
in the archives.
And then he basically trusts Annie and Huey
to do the rest,
which is like, holy, are we seeing an alliance? Which obviously we do.
Yeah, we get
right?
to that.
Eventually it gets to that, but this is where it starts in season 2, and it's so good. But again, it's like he's not redeemed.
No.
Which is what I love.
No. Yeah.
It's just a little hint of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was great.
This is all like really great. Like, I think those are like the major things that sort of happen at the end of season 2.
And then of course Becca dies at the
end of season 2. And Becca dies and like, all this stuff. And, the boys kind of become legit, and we also get another character in Victoria Newman, Congresswoman Victoria Newman, who throughout the season you're like, oh, she's very.
When does the head popping happen? Is it
the head popping happens in episode 7?
Yes.
Yeah. Like the big scene. The big scene of head popping on C-SPAN. In the trial. But so she's congresswoman. She is of course a Democrat. She's very like, we have to have like proper legislation and all this stuff against the soups.
She's the good guy.
She's the good guy.
She's the good guy.
AOC basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
And then it's revealed she's the head popper. So and that she's basically just out on her own agenda, really, to protect herself, protect her daughter.
Yeah. And she's related to Stan Edgar.
She's related to Stan Edgar. She's adopted by him.
Yeah.
Which we don't find out until season 3, actually. But, she's an interesting character as well, because, like, we only see glimpses of her, and then, she's more prominent.
So is she more in season
2, by the end of season 2. Like,
end of
the
season
last
2,
2 episodes, 3 episodes, and then she's really in season 3.
Yeah.
So, yeah, she's an interesting one, that Victoria.
And I like the ending of season 2, because we get this again. It's kind of okay. Becca's now dead.
Yeah,
We moved on from there.
Yeah.
But we have Ryan.
Yeah.
What are we going to do with Ryan?
Yeah.
Right?
Send him with Grace.
Exactly.
Mallory.
So we have this whole thing of like, okay, what state is Butcher going to be in?
Yeah.
Because now he has the responsibility of his dead wife's son, who is also the son of this man that he absolutely hates.
Yeah.
So we don't know what direction he's going to go in.
Yeah.
I love the fact that we get Grace Mallory involved in Ryan's life. So that's good. But I think season 3 starts with a really good place because they all kind of are like in a good spot.
Weirdly enough,
unlike
like,
season 2.
they are regulated now, like because Huey's now working with Victoria Newman at the FBSA.
Yep.
The Federal Bureau of
Supernatural
Superhuman Affairs.
Yes.
And so they are basically now the bosses of the boys. And have to tell them basically this is like they bring the intel to these guys and they're like, well, you either have to go in now or you only like this is it, like, you know, you can't do more than this. Don't go all boys on them. Basically, like, you know, start punching and kicking and killing and all that stuff. So it's really funny because there's tension between Huey and Butcher in that way. So he's kind of like, oh, I'll get you those expense reports and like
because Huey is basically Butcher's boss at this point.
But like, yeah, it just like, you know, they're working in the Flatiron building of all places.
I love MM and
he's like, and it's an historic building. You gotta put respect on the building's name. He's constantly cleaning that place. It's so funny.
But I think very importantly, we've got Annie, who basically is now.
Yeah,
I mean, not officially.
Not officially, she's still very much undercover.
But still, like, she is part of them.
But she is part of them.
She's been accepted by everyone, like
apart from Butcher.
Yeah. And I love how Annie and Butcher hate each other.
Cannot stand each other.
It's
so
stand
great.
each other.
I love it.
Like the minute, like I think it's in season 4. Like the minute he walks into a room, and he's like, "Who is this guy?"
Yeah,
she just goes nuts.
Yeah, it's so great. But yeah, like season 3 is, it starts very like in a very simple sort of way, and then like the end of that episode is when things really get going because Huey finds out that Victoria's
the head papa.
Homelander is unhinged at that point.
Oh my goodness,
because of everything that has happened at Starlight, and he kind of is like being suppressed by the whole Flight 37 video of it all.
Yeah.
That it could be revealed by Maeve and Annie at any point. So he's kind of like...
He's being blackmailed,
you know,
essentially.
blackmailed. He's been told by Vought to, like, you know, the talking points, basically. Yeah. Like, you know, just a man who fell in love with the wrong woman.
I feel like season 3 is where Homelander really starts to shine.
Oh, yeah.
For me.
Yeah.
Like, I love him in season 1, season 2. Like, he's crazy and maniacal. Like, you know, all of that stuff. But, like... his insanity really doesn't kick in until season 3. Like, he's insane even in season 1 and 2. But, like, this is, like, a whole other level of insanity.
Like, the birthday episode where he's like, you know, you all need me to save you. And you're not the heroes. I'm the hero. You know, like...
Was that season 3?
Yeah, that's season 3.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. See, he has that full meltdown on stage.
Yeah.
Where he's just like... I am better than you. Like
the whole thing that, you know, as what was her name? Stormfront had like fed him all of the you know, like, you are the perfect specimen and this and that, very, you know, all of that stuff. He basically has now internalized that and
her killing herself.
Yeah. You know, she
trigger
basically
warning, sorry.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's her doing that to herself is what sets him off.
Yeah,
on that
it really
stage.
sets him off. So all of that, really, he becomes even more unhinged.
Yeah.
And so he becomes very unpredictable at this point, which is great.
Yeah. Because he's always been unpredictable. But this is a very different kind of unpredictable.
Because his unpredictability has always been like, yes, I have a lot of power. Yeah. I can do something bad to you.
Yeah.
But he was always controlled by Vought.
Yeah.
Right? It was all about the numbers. You need to be looking good. Like, you have to make sure that you don't do it in front of people. Like, you know, you have to, like, it's the optics and stuff like that. Yeah. But now he doesn't care about any of that stuff.
And it really, by the end of season 3, I mean, we'll fill in all the blanks, but like by the end of season 3, where he does kill that guy in the square.
At
that
really
point,
doesn't care.
He really does not care.
Yeah.
you know,
he's
so
given up
he's
completely.
given up completely. Like he has, his tagline has been, "I can do whatever the hell I want," and he really gets to that. And
he gets
this,
to
and
it.
like he even confronts Annie about it. Like, because she's like, well, you know, because he's like sort of like manipulating her and like telling her to do things and like letting Deep back into the 7 and like all this stuff. And she's like, do I need to remind you of the Flight 37 video? And he's like, well, go ahead and release it.
Go ahead and release it. So now even he cannot be blackmailed.
Because he's just like, I'll lose everything, but then I'll have nothing to lose.
Yeah. That makes him even more dangerous.
That makes him even worse. And he even like starts to outline his plan, which I mean, I think it's a good indicator for season 5 because he's sort of like, you know, first I'll take out all the nerve centers, then Washington, and then maybe I'll just wipe New York off the map. Yeah. You know, so that could very much still happen. Yeah. So yeah, he's not
a dangerous
beating around
man.
the bush anymore. Yeah.
And I really like that he's not just he's just a crazy guy. No, he's a crazy guy that can really do a lot of damage. Yeah. And not just like blow up a building damage, like change the fabric of society. Yeah. Essentially. And we see that happening because one thing about Stormfront was she was very good at like manipulating the media and all of that sort of stuff. Yeah. And he learns from her. Yeah. And Vought very much has always done that. Yeah. So they kind of go along with what he wants. And Ashley is very much involved in that whole thing as well. Because Ashley kind of is like doing things out of fear. Yeah. At this point. Yeah. Ashley, again, very interesting character. Very interesting. Not until season 3 that she really start to kind of play an interesting, like pivotal part. Yeah. Again, through line to character development there. But yeah, like I'm very interested to see what happens with Homelander. Yeah. Because even in season 3, like he's still at that point. So yes, he doesn't care, but he's also at that point where like he still wants to be adored by his fans and like there is that to be loved
connection that he is trying to make with Ryan. Yeah. He doesn't know where he is at this point because he's in hideout with Grace, but like he's trying to find him. And well, the season 3 is also the introduction of the first soup. Well, the first soup other than Stormfront. Yes. Just Soldierboy. Played by Jensen Ackles.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Supernatural like I say it as if like he was just one of them. Hello, Dean Winchester himself.
Exactly.
Yeah, the Dean Winchester. Dean Winchester. Like, oh my gosh. Hello. So yeah, like, and the whole reveal of him being Homelander's father, also puts a spanner in the works.
I remember when we were watching it. And I think both of us kind of was like, and I
both sort of went like, oh, is this the, and then we're like, nah.
No, but I remember and like we thought about this and we were like, nah, it can't be. And like, then it was revealed and we're like, oh.
And then we saw how many other people said the same thing and we're like, oh, okay, so it's really not that big of a like.
It's not that big of a reveal. I guess I felt like a little bit special, but no.
I know. I was like, oh, okay. So
I mean, it is kind of obvious.
But it's very interesting because we kept describing season 3 when it was airing as toxic masculinity this season.
Seriously.
Because every one of our characters is dealing with it in some sort of way. Yeah. Because, you know, Soldierboy is a product of his time from the 40s. I mean, he was born before that, but he was, you know, prominent in the 40s. Yep. During the war and all that. So of course he has a very specific way of thinking,
and talking and behaving
and yeah,
so gross.
Not great. Like
awful.
Like how he was like every single thing you say is so gross, and that basically sums up Soldierboy. But yeah, like so he's that representation of that, and of course Homelander and Butcher also is. Butcher is sort of passing that on to Huey with the whole, you know, V24 thing, the temporary V. And Huey
is feeling inadequate
because
his girlfriend's a soup.
And, you know, he always used to be like, oh, it's so cool that she could do all this stuff and she's so strong and so capable and all this stuff. But like, in this season, he's just like, I have to be the one to save you. Why do you always have to save me?
And also, like, don't forget,
all that.
He goes off with his dad as well. Like, he talks about his father as if he's this pathetic man who stayed and, like, you know, froze after his wife left him, you know?
Yeah.
And that's such a, like, toxic male attitude, right?
It was really hard to hear him say that about Hugh Sr., Mr. Simon Pegg.
Exactly.
Amazing. But yeah, like, they're all sort of dealing with that. And it's just, like, the deep.
Can I say one thing, though?
The black.
Out of all of that, you have MM.
Oh.
Who actually, no, even him, like,
I mean, he is, of
his
course.
issues. Like,
he's dealing with a lot. Yeah.
His stuff was different, though. I wouldn't classify that as toxic because his
it's just a crisis of his personal stuff that he's
his
going
demons
through.
And also he's got his mental health stuff happening with his OCD, and you know, his anxiety levels are so high. And then when the whole Soldierboy is introduced, we get a little bit of backstory in MM. So that, I think, is a part of season 3.
Yes. So like in season 2 we got a very slight mention of MM being like, some stuff happened with my family and VOD. I don't want to get into it, but you know. And then in this, it's revealed more that, you know, his grandfather died because Soldierboy basically threw a car into their building. And then his father, MM's father, was a lawyer, so he worked like tirelessly to try and
get VOD, essentially.
VOD, and just, you know, that was basically his fight, his mission every single day until, you know, he would be, you know, what did he describe it as? Like, found him bent over his typewriter at age 55.
He died,
He had just died for this cause, basically. And he's passed it on to MM and everything MM has been through in all of that.
His fear is that he's going to end up with his
Janine,
exactly,
his
like his father, and then it'll happen to his daughter.
Happen to Janine. So I love that it all comes out with Soldierboy, because I predicted that. I just want to say,
you did actually.
I was like, even like before, like when
they announced,
pretty much when Jensen was announced, I was like, oh, because Laz Alonso, who plays MM, was basically like, oh, you know, each of the boys have had like a history with like a certain soup, so it'll be interesting to see, you know. And I was like, it's MM and Soldierboy.
Yeah, exactly.
As soon as straight away I was like, oh, it's gonna be this history. This is how like this is what involves the dad and like all this stuff. So I worked it all out, and then my friend was like, how did you do it? And I was like, just happen to love the show, guys.
And it's also like with the whole on the same vein of the toxic masculinity thing, we see that escalation of Homelander and his relationship with his fans. And we get to see a bit of an insight into it through MM's ex-wife's boyfriend.
Oh my gosh, Todd.
Ugh. Who, you know, starts off as this really mild-mannered, normal guy.
I hate that guy.
And then we slowly start to see how much of a fan he is of Homelander, to the point where he's like going to like these weird right-wing rallies and like all of that sort of stuff, taking Janine with him. All of this stuff, and that's kind of what triggers MM into, you know, displaying his, you know, his stuff. But like, it's so interesting how they've taken like the what's it called, a theme essentially. Oh, you can even see it in ATrain.
Oh yeah,
right. His whole relationship with, what was the guy's name? The other one,
Blue Hawk.
Yeah, right. ATrain and Blue Hawk, right?
Yeah.
ATrain is kind of like, okay, I need to fix things, you know, and he kind of starts going, all right, where do I start?
Yeah.
And he starts going, oh, I'm gonna go back to my roots. And he's just all
like
messed
in Roots.
up. Like, what are you doing?
Sorry, can we just pause? I love Colby Menifee, who plays Ashley Barrett. I love her facial expressions.
Yes.
Because when she sees the video game that's the slave trade, and her eyes go wide, and she's just like, is that a video game about the slave trade? And like, it just like pauses for a second, and it's just like, oh crap.
This has gone too far.
Good. It's so good.
It's so good.
She's brilliant.
Like, the ridiculousness of it.
Yeah.
And so ATrain kind of is like trying to make good with his community, because his brother's like, well, you know, you've kind of left your community behind.
You've forgotten who you are.
You've forgotten who you are. You've forgotten where you're from.
Yeah.
And as a result, he kind of goes, okay, I'm going to try and make things right in my community. And that's when he engages with Blue Hawk.
Yeah.
Who over polices and all of that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And then that goes completely
sideways.
Nate
gets injured. Yeah.
Nate gets injured, and ATrain just cannot control his anger.
Yeah.
He cannot control it to the point where he puts himself in jeopardy.
Yeah. Kills Blue Hawk.
Essentially
turns
dies
him into
himself.
roadkill. Yeah.
You know, and then ends up with Blue Hawk's
heart. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Like that.
The person that you've hated is now the person keeping you alive.
Like, oh man, that is a very interesting arc for him
to do.
That's a lot.
And he has the fallout with his brother at the end of season 3, and you know what you see in season 4 as well. They're not in a good place, but I mean, ATrain is just, oh god, he's so good.
But I think with ATrain, he's kind of like the result of that toxic masculinity, right?
Yeah.
So he's kind of like at that tail end of going, I've messed up. I need to fix things. But then...
And you do sort of see him start to fix, because like he even apologizes to Huey.
Yeah.
And for a minute you're like, is this genuine? But then it is.
Yeah.
And Huey is such in a state at that point with like, you know, V24, and like he's not thinking clearly and all this stuff, so he doesn't necessarily accept the apology and doesn't again necessarily think that it's sincere, but like you can just tell from the absolute like just the way Jesse played it, of like being so like down low in his body, like he's, because ATrain's sort of like, the way he always plays ATrain is like he's sort of like up on his toes, and he's like, you know, because he's ready to, you know, push off and run at any point. But this is like, he's down.
He's grounded.
Like, he's grounded.
Yeah.
Like his feet are to the floor. His shoulders are slumped. And like he's having the sincerity, the serious moment. And I just, I just think that continues on with ATrain in such an incredible way. Like the fact that this guy has become a favorite, right? I can't believe it.
Absolutely.
But yeah, the season is just like season 3. So it all sort of culminates in the battle is basically Butcher, Homelander, and Soldierboy is sort of like trying to get his revenge on his past team.
So we get a little bit of backstory on that as well.
We get Payback, which was his original team. And as that is happening and Homelander's unraveling, it sort of all comes to the point of like, Homelander has found out where Ryan is. He's trying to now take him under his wing. And everyone who has sort of been in the fight to kill Homelander this whole season. Yeah. So, you know, Annie tried to recruit ATrain and Supersonic. Supersonic unfortunately dies. And so it's really just up to Maeve and the boys at the end. Yeah. To try and take him down and get Ryan out of his clutches. But, you know, Soldierboy also has a moment of being like, oh, you killed Noir before I could? Okay, I'm going to kill you now. Yeah, yeah. So he just, like, he's, because of his, you know, his mind is messed up from Russia, from where he's been kept all these years. I find that bit hilarious because he's like, because Ryan zaps him and then he's like, you little shit. Like he just turns against his family. I was like, wow.
He has no loyalty.
Right. There's no loyalty. That's very interesting about him.
It's a very interesting thing about him. And I actually really
find... He's sort of using Butcher and Huey to like find the rest of his team. And then he probably would have killed them too.
He's got an agenda. So, he's got a very clear agenda. And his whole thing is, you're safe until you are useful to me. Yeah. Right? If the minute you cease to be useful to me,
you're done.
You're done. Yeah. I don't care about you. Yeah. And he's a very interesting guy.
Again, Homelander having that constant need to, be loved, have a family, wants to take Ryan under his wing, wants Soldierboy to embrace him.
Yeah, but Soldierboy is like,
but he's like, you're pathetic.
Like,
you're
what a loser.
You're a loser. So. Yeah, he's just...
And when that happened, I was like, oh my goodness, can you imagine Soldierboy and Homelander coming together? Like, geez, that is going to be bad.
See, that is now. That's season 5.
Now
we'll
is
get
season
to that.
5.
We'll get to that. Yeah.
But at that point, I was like, oh my goodness, this is like bad.
Yeah.
But then when that bit happened, he's like, you're such a loser. I was like, oh my goodness.
Man.
I love this. But yeah, now season 5, we don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah,
because we'll talk about it. It's at the end of season 4. But I think also very interesting to mention is the whole Frenchie and Kimiko journey.
Yeah,
through season 3.
Yeah,
because I think a lot of the emotional stuff comes from them.
Yeah,
in this season.
Yeah.
Because Kimiko is in that spot where, her brother has died.
Yeah.
In season 2. She's lost. She feels like she is evil.
Yeah.
She feels as if the only thing that she is worth is violence and killing and all of that. And so she
loses her powers.
And she loses her powers
by
at
way
one
of
point.
Soldierboy, yeah.
Yeah, but she doesn't feel worthy.
Yeah.
And I really enjoy and then her relationship with Frenchie, because they kind of get sucked back into, or Frenchie rather gets sucked back into like his past, which is with little Nina and all of that sort of stuff.
Russian mafia and
all of that. And that bit where he gets kidnapped and he has to basically choose between Kimiko and Cherie.
Oh, that's so good.
Oh my goodness. Like, what a great scene.
Yeah.
So good. And Kimiko doesn't have a powers.
Yeah,
so
and
it's
she's
like,
still
what is going to happen?
Is probably one of the most violent scenes she's had.
I cannot watch that
and without her powers.
Yeah, I cannot watch that scene.
Where she just
I literally cannot see it.
It's basically her just repeatedly stabbing this guy
I just cannot watch it.
A glass shard.
And
but
it's just...
And so, and like the response, the next bit of that is like him patching her up. And her just being like, I thought it was the powers, but it's just
me.
Always been me.
So it's kind of like it reinforces her feeling of unworthiness.
Yeah.
You know, where she's like, this is just me.
Yeah.
I'm just evil.
Yeah.
And just watching Kimiko go through that is just so heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Because that's not what it is. She was trafficked. She was like treated like, all of this happened. She was a child soldier. So what that entails. So I loved that they brought that emotional side to it.
Yeah. But yeah, like season 3 is basically a mini showdown between all of them. We get Soldierboy back in cryo. We get Maeve is now dead to the public, but she's alive to us. She goes into hiding. I love that we got a good ending for Maeve. With Dominique leaving the show. I was like,
how are they going to end that?
How would they end something like that? And I remember Kripke talking about it. He was just like, so we're all going to figure out how to do this because there's no way she's dying. We're not killing her off.
Yeah.
So what's going to be a good ending for Maeve? And they got it right, I think.
Yeah. I think that was good.
I think that was really good. So that happens. And then, we get Huey and Annie are again in a good place, and after the whole V24 thing, where he does sort of come to that realization of like, I always thought my dad was weak, but I just didn't know what strength was because he held us together.
Can I say one thing? Like, I think very importantly, we get to see more of Annie's powers. Yeah. And we get to see how strong she actually is. She can fly.
Yeah.
Like, obviously now in like season 4 and 5, she's like she's booming supersonically.
Yeah.
But like, this is where we really see her like levitate and go,
and for Huey to have that thing of like, I'm not going to take this V that I've suddenly found. I'm going to like switch on all these lights, let her use that as her thing. And she freaking flies.
Yeah, she flies. But I think the temp V is a very important through line plot ways because of Butcher, because we find out, so temp V is introduced In this season, sort of Maeve gives it to him and she's like, oh, this is this temp V thing, lasts 24 hours, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And Butcher starts taking it willy-nilly, like, oh, yeah, this is great. Yeah.
And then so does Huey.
And then Annie goes to find some more for them. And then she realizes...
she goes to find, like, proper V for Kimiko to get her powers back.
But she sees the studies that have been going on it. And she realizes that between 3 to 5 doses and you're basically... It's lethal. It's killing you. So at this point, I think Huey's only had like 2 doses or 3. But Butcher's had more than that. Yeah. Like we actually don't know how many he's had.
Yeah.
Because by the time he gives it to Huey, he's already had it a few times.
Yeah, he's probably had it like 3 times at that point. Yeah.
So his stuff that's going on there, so he starts to like feel unwell and all of that. And he goes to the hospital because he passes out, goes to the hospital, and then he finds out
he has like 6 months left.
He's basically dying. And that then kind of leaves us in a very interesting position because by then his relationship with Ryan isn't the best.
No.
Because he's been going through the effects of V, and through that his response to Ryan
has been harsh.
Has been very harsh. And Ryan is quite sensitive still. He's quite young.
He's just looking for someone to
love him. Because that's his only connection to his mother.
Yeah.
And he's with Grace at this point still. But Homelander basically takes Ryan away after the whole showdown. And that's where the ending happens, which is like, oh my goodness, it was one of the best endings.
Yeah.
Where Homelander goes into the rally and this guy throws a can at Ryan and, says whatever, and Homelander kills him. And the whole crowd starts cheering.
Yeah.
And Ryan's face...
Jesus.
In that moment.
That gets me every time. Just like, this child is evil. Is an evil child.
His face is so good. But this is where the start of the it's not so much Homelander versus Butcher anymore. It's now Homelander versus Annie.
Yeah.
Starlight. Because at the end of this, Starlight basically goes live in season 3 and is like, this is what Vough's doing.
I'm not Starlight anymore.
Homelander's doing. I am not Starlight anymore. I am Annie January.
Yeah.
I'm exposing everything. So she comes out in the light and, all of that.
Yeah.
And that's where we get into season 4.
Yeah. And like at this point as well, Victoria Newman's kind of like, she's screwed Stan Edgar over. He is now in jail.
Yeah.
Because she's basically in alliance with Homelander.
Yeah.
So she's done it for her own political gain, and now she is VP elect with Bob Singer, played by Jim Beaver yet again. He'll be playing Robert Singer for the rest of his life, let's be real, in different iterations.
So funny.
So she is now his selection for VP while he's running for president. And that's basically where season 4 starts, is election day.
So season 4 gets fully into the politics of things.
This is where we really go head
because
first
it's like
into it.
season 2, the whole, thing gets introduced. Season 3, it becomes more about like culture.
Yeah.
And then season 4, it really picks up into the politics and like changing the fabric of America. And because this whole time, one of the true things that right from season 1 actually is this whole idea of Soups needing to be in the military. Madeline Stillwell is the one that wanted that. And Homelander has been pushing for that as well. And so,
but if you really think about it, it actually is from like the 80s.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
There's that flashback in Nicaragua in season 3 where Stan Edgar's like, we want to get Soups back in the military for the first time in 30 years.
Yeah.
Because it hasn't happened since the war.
Technically, it's all the way from World War II.
So they haven't been in since World War II.
Yeah.
So since like the 80s is when they've basically been trying to get them back in.
Yeah.
Because so that's something that's been their agenda for a very
long time. So this really picks up at this point. Interestingly enough, we know that Robert Singer knows what's going on.
Yeah.
And he's aware of what Victoria Newman can do.
Because we've had a bit of time between
there's like
the
a
end
bit of a
season
time jump
3 and season 4. I think it's like few months. Like, I think it's like 6 months or something. Yeah.
And
because between season 2 and season 3 is 1 year.
Yes.
And then between season 3 and season 4, I think it's like 6 months.
Yeah.
I think.
So Robert Singer is very, like he knows what's going on. Yeah. So I like that.
Yeah.
I think season 4 is a really interesting season because we get some new characters.
Yeah.
We get this really interesting direction that we're going in.
Yeah.
It becomes more sinister.
Oh, yeah.
Season 4 is way more sinister. Okay, so this is my thing. I feel season 4 is not as much fun as the other seasons because it is not something where you can suspend your disbelief anymore. No, right? It got really real. It really, so there's always been this question of like, you know, Kripke and the writers like talking about like how this show, you know, mirrors society as we see it right now. And it was funny when not funny, like but like just interesting. Yeah. That when season 4 was coming out, it was airing week to week, how they were kind of like predicting. So they would have written this, you know, months prior and filmed it months prior. Yeah. It's almost like it was predicting things as it was happening. Yeah. That was kind of
the scary part. And I don't think they even thought of that happening. I think they just sort of like, oh, this is an interesting way to take the show. And then suddenly it was like it was happening in real time. So yeah, this is like you're saying, it's you can't, it doesn't feel like a fantasy.
No,
anymore.
It doesn't
not feel like just a superhero show.
No, it doesn't feel like
very
that
real.
Yeah.
And still feels very real right now. And yeah, I think maybe that's why. So there was a lot of, not criticism, but a lot of people who were like, oh, season 4 is not as strong. Oh, like, you know, it doesn't have like, and I will say, like, as it was airing, it wasn't making sense. It just, the through lines weren't coming through very well to me, at least. Yeah. And I was like, okay, so where are we going? But having rewatched it now, I was like, okay, the threads are there. They're all good. They're very subtle threads.
Yeah, but they're there.
So, like, there's 2 ways to really break a season. And it's basically, you have a situation that is like, you know, your overarching, you know, this is what's going to happen. And this is how the characters are sort of going to react to it, right? Whereas season 4 is, this is what's happening to the characters. And this is the situation that it's all descending into. Yeah. You know? Yeah. So there's 2 sort of ways to do things. And that's kind of what season 4 is. Yeah. Whereas like the action is coming from like the characters rather than the characters reacting to the action.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I agree. I think season 4 is, as I said, it feels more sinister. Yeah. It's meant to be.
Yeah. Because we've got new characters like Sage, Sister Sage, Firecracker. Yeah. We've got, you know, a new Noir. Who can actually talk now. And is actually finally, we're hearing Nate Mitchell's voice. Very good to hear him finally, thank God. But, you know, Deep is more unhinged than ever.
Oh, Deep's insane.
He's gone back to his himbo ways. And in a more terrifying way. And then we've got the whole Starlighters versus Homelanders and, you know, the Storm Chasers, Stormfronts people and all this stuff. So,
and that's the thing, like we still have, like, even though Stormfront's gone, we get very clear references to her still, you know? Yeah. So, and I think this whole, I really find Sister Sage very interesting as a character because with her, she doesn't have any outright powers, right? She's not like, you know, freakishly strong or anything, but she is the smartest person on Earth. Yeah. And so she can think through situations that no one has thought of. Yeah. And so when you're kind of looking at stuff, you're like, what is going on? And then she's like, this is exactly what I planned. Yeah. And you go, oh my goodness. She is like a political strategist on steroids. Yeah. And like in a very scary way, not in a good way.
In a very serial killer way.
Very, very scary way. So she, I think, is such a great intro of a character. Yeah. Oh my God. I cannot stand Firecracker.
Oh, yeah. She's your new A-Train.
She is my new A-Train. I do not like this
But, like,
woman.
no redeeming qualities at all.
Not a single one. Like, A-Train, by the end of season 1, you still kind of had, like, oh, maybe not.
Yeah.
This woman, no. She is full of hate. Like, I know, like, you know, she's got, like, this, we get introduced to some of her little conflict with Annie, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know, she feels awkward, she doesn't fit in, she's, you know, all of this stuff. But
and to be fair, and this is not true, like, redeems Firecracker in any way, but, like, Annie said some horrible things to her as
absolutely.
a child.
Absolutely. Horrific
but
things.
It, again, does not signify anything.
It doesn't justify anything that she does,
Any
So, Firecracker cannot stand her, and I hope she dies in season 5. But yeah, like, we get these really interesting characters because Firecracker, again, comes in as someone who, this is the thing, she's annoying, but she's very dangerous.
Yeah.
Because her whole motivation is to please Homelander.
Yeah.
And she basically is sucking up to Homelander and making herself, and she is kind of like the more pathetic version of Stormfront.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Because she, again, is manipulating the masses with, like, her...
She's a podcast.
Now
she's the anchor.
Now she's anchor of Cameron Coleman's show. And so she manipulates the masses. She tries to get them on her side. But she does it more out of, like, rather than, like, getting an agenda. Like, and putting her agenda out there, like Stormfront was.
Yeah.
It's more that she wants to be able to do it. Her like Firecracker's agenda is more like, we're gonna hate these people.
Yeah.
But like I don't really have a good reason for it. I just want you to hate them.
Plain old racist.
Yeah.
She's racist. Like, she's uneducated.
Was like, hate these people because this is what they've done.
Yeah.
And they want to try and like get rid of Soups and like all this stuff. Like she had something to say. Whereas
well, she had something to say, but she's coming really from a very, very extreme.
No, I know. She
agenda.
Had, but like she had something to put out to these people of why they should hate.
This one doesn't.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like Firecracker does not have anything. She's just like, hate these guys. I don't know why, but hate them.
But the thing is, it's interesting because Firecracker is very much because Stormfront kind of was like setting things up.
Yeah, that's
Firecracker doesn't need to do that because it's already been set up. So she's like, just hate this one and like, sure, absolutely.
Yeah, let's just reveal this huge secret about someone for the hell of it.
Yeah,
you know,
she's just awful. I can't stand her. And she's the more pathetic version of Stormfront because Stormfront is. Like, I don't like her, obviously, but she also kind of gave it back to people, right? Yeah. Whereas this one just kind of is like I don't even know how to like explain it, but she kind of like the biggest example is when like she's sucking up to Homelander and Homelander is just like, get away from me, like go away, and she's just like slinks away. Yeah, you know,
and even like when she's like trying to like impress Sage, and Sage basically insults her without even her realizing it. Yeah, you know.
She's too dumb to understand.
Like, I just needed you for like a quick minute, like a cause, and you fulfilled that by being the stupid person that you are.
Yeah, like she's just dumb. Yeah. She's not smart. She's not at all, you know, she's just useful to them. She can just be used. Yeah. So these new characters I think are really interesting. Yeah. I think season 4 we get to see Butcher really go off the rails and Homelander go off the rails. Yeah. Both of them.
I mean, Butcher's like, I'm sorry, but like every time he just like spaces out, I'm just like, dude, get help, man.
Oh man, I think like, he's beyond help at this point.
Like, and the whole Kessler and Becca of it all, and like seeing them, I was like, oh my god,
he is way beyond help. Yeah. But Butcher, ultimately, we get essentially temp V has now become permanent V.
Well, he's taken permanent.
Oh yeah, he has taken permanent V,
and it is now basically a parasite within him that he doesn't realize is technically the power.
Yeah.
And he's basically dying in real time.
Yeah.
Like, he's like sped up the process
pretty
of dying.
much. Yeah, pretty much.
Until the end when he embraces the weird chest busting tentacles that he has.
I think one of the biggest issues I feel this season, I like the storyline. I think it's interesting. We get to see what the agenda is, right? So again, this season they've used it up to set up for season 5.
Yeah.
So I feel like in that sense, not a lot happens.
Yeah.
Right?
Season 4 is really like part 1.
Yeah, it's like part 1. It's kind of like setting up the end.
Yeah.
So we get to see like, okay, what is the government situation? What is the military situation? What's happening? At the end of... it's not the end. Is it the end? What I don't like about this season is I don't like the fact that Butcher kills Victoria Newman.
Yeah. That's the end.
Because I feel like, what's the point now?
Yeah. Yeah.
Not the point, but it's like, what was the point of killing her?
Yeah. Because she was going to go off with them. She had basically been like, I don't want this anymore. I want Zoe to be safe. And she was going to go off with her and they were going to get rid of her basically. As in like, put her in hiding and she would never be seen again. So what was the point of her dying?
And she could have been useful.
She could have still been useful. And like, I think like it's good that Zoe is still in Stan Edgar's life because of what we see in Gen V and stuff as well. But like I think a reconciliation between Victoria and Stan would have been good to see.
Yeah, and also like I just think it would have been interesting, like not to give her a redemption arc or anything, but because she is this is the thing about Victoria Newman, like she's bad. Yeah. But she's not good, but she's not like horribly bad either.
She's not evil.
Her whole thing is, I need to protect myself. I need to protect my daughter. Yeah. That's her motivation.
Like her whole life, she feels she's been manipulated by Stan.
Yeah.
So she basically does the same to him. Like she throws him under the bus because it is that thing of, I just want to be in charge of my own life and my daughter's life. And but then she realizes the struggle behind that as they're going through this process, and she realizes that Singer knows that that she is the head popper. So it's like Homelander is going off the rails, and she doesn't have her allies anymore, basically. And all she can do at that point at the end is like trust Huey because this is someone she's always trusted, and they've had this bad blood between them. Now that he knows who she is, but like she can still trust him in the end.
I think it would have been interesting to keep her alive.
Yeah, I think it was a big mistake.
I think that was a big mistake. Yeah. I didn't like that. I think
her. Okay, my thing is, it was a way to show that Butcher has become completely unhinged and he wasn't going to listen to anybody at that point. True. So it could have. So and. The mission was to kill her, so he killed her. Right? Who I think did not need to die is Grace Mallory. Yes. So up until this point, Ryan's been with Homelander. Yeah. He's kind of been straddling his life between being with Homelander and being with and meeting up with Butcher. And Homelander doesn't like that, of course. Yeah. And so they do eventually get him away from the tower, and it's that thing of like, we need to somehow get him trained up to eventually fight his father. Yeah. And that means sending him away, taking him with Grace, like, whatever that means. And at that point, he didn't know the truth of what Homelander did to Becca. And Grace basically tells him, and he doesn't really believe her. Yeah. And so there's a bit of a scuffle and, all this stuff, and he is trying to get away. Yeah. He's trying to get out, and she's like, no, I'm not going to leave you. I love you, kiddo. You're the best thing that has come into my life. I'm so happy that you're, and I want to save you. I want you to be okay. And she's about to like trap him in the room, and he basically pushes her and she dies. Yeah. Like against the wall, her neck breaks and she dies. And I get why they did it, because it's that thing of like, okay, up until this point, yes, Ryan technically, quote unquote, killed Becca, but he was doing it to like sort of get Stormfront away from her, and she just happened to be there. Yeah. And then in season 4, he kills the stunt double, his stunt coordinator Coy, who was actually the boy's stunt coordinator named Coy. It's
who
so
did not
funny.
die.
Who did not actually die. And it was funny when like no Coys were harmed in the making of this episode. So like that is really weighing on him. Yeah. But up until that point, he has not killed anyone other than his mother, who was important to him, right? Yeah. So here is a mother figure, quote unquote, that is asking him not to do this. Yeah. To stay with her, to stay with Butcher and figure this out. And he kills her. And it's like, his face doesn't really look remorseful.
No.
You know? And that really is now like, okay, what are they doing with Ryan?
What are they doing with Ryan?
Is he going to go down the path?
For me,
and I hope not, but it's still very possible.
Okay, so he's in that situation. Then we have some good things that do come out of this season. I think one of the good things I feel really for me came out was we get to see ATrain really become, essentially realize that he can become the hero that he always wanted to be. Yeah. You know, he doesn't have a reconciliation with his brother. No. At this point. I really hope we do get to see that
if
next season.
Lives, then yes.
But we do get to see him, like there's the bit where they go to Tech Knight's mansion and has his panic attack. Yeah. Kamiko thinks it's a heart attack.
We all thought it was a heart attack.
And ATrain is basically how they get in. Yeah. And he comes in and he's like, oh my gosh, what's happening? And he's like, oh crap, okay, I'm gonna have to take him to the hospital. Yeah. And he takes MM to the hospital, and he sees this kid, and this kid just smiles at him. And it just kind of makes him go, I don't have to be this evil person. Yeah. I can actually do some good. Yeah. And that's a real good shift in him. That really shifts him.
Because even throughout like season 3, he's being tortured by Homelander. Season 4, he's being like told to do awful things, kill these people, you know, do this weird thing with Deep and like all this stuff. And so like, yeah, again, being manipulated. And it really comes to the point where he's just like, to Ashley, he was just like, we need to just leave.
Yeah, we need to get out.
We need to go. This is not good. We're not in a good situation. What if we just left?
Is that before MM basically calls him and is like, you need to get out and like, I'm gonna be your thing?
That's before that. Okay. I'm pretty sure,
So I think that then the whole meeting with MM kind of solidifies that as well. And then
technically Ashley is the one who's like, what if we left? And he says, I don't think that's right. And then he has that thing with MM, that meeting with MM.
And then also I think what solidifies that whole thing with him is the fact that his brother wants nothing to do with him. Yeah. Because he goes visits his brother and his brother's like, get out of my life. Well, I don't want anything to do. He's talking to
his nephews and the brother comes and he's like, stop trying to get them on your good side.
Yeah, like just leave. So I think all of those things combined, like he really realizes that he is not in a good position. Yeah.
So like that talk with MM is basically like, you know, because he's like, oh, why are you here? Like, why are you trying to like recruit me, basically? And he's like, you know, okay, fine, you know a lot, whatever, but I know you don't want to be this person anymore. Like, you are better than this. Yeah. Like, and I've always felt, and this really came down to it in season 4 especially, that MM and ATrain are the same person. Yeah. They come from the same backgrounds. It's just that
they went in different
directions. Like, because they were both like lower class and everything, but you know, through teenage kicks for ATrain and all this stuff, and like suddenly, like, you know, 8 years ago becoming one of the 7, like this big opportunity came his way and he became this, you know, that we see at the start of season 1, killing Robin, you know. So he is capable of the things that MM is also capable of.
He's capable of good. He's capable of real good. And I think it'll be really interesting to see what direction he goes in.
Because then later on, like, so I was getting confused because at the start, Ashley was like, what if we just leave? And he's like, no, I don't think it's possible, blah, blah, blah. And then that thing happens with MM. And then he says, let's just go. Let's leave. Let's get out of here.
That's when Ashley's kind of like, I don't think we can.
I don't think I can.
Yeah.
You know? He's like, come with me. He basically begs her, come with me. We'll go anywhere. Yeah. Whatever it is.
And this is why I want to talk a little bit about Ashley. Because she has been, like, right from season 1. Yeah. She's been such an interesting character to watch. Again, she's one of the characters I cannot stand. I do not like Ashley. But, like, I like her. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, I love to hate her. But, like, she's one of those people who is so despicable sometimes. Yeah. Yet she has these moments of humanity. Yeah. Like, the bit where Maeve jumps out with Soldierboy.
And they explode,
and she supposedly dies. Yeah. Ashley is looking at the surveillance video and she sees that she's alive and she just says, delete it. Yeah, we're going to protect her, delete it. Like, no one needs to know this. And I was like, ooh, that's good. Yeah. And, like, there's moments where she doesn't actively do things, but you can tell from her expression where she's like, this has gone too far, or this is something that I did not set up for. Yeah. Like, I'm not into this. Yeah. But then she also participates actively in certain things where it's like, dude, you cannot be redeemed. This is awful. Yeah. You know, like, this is absolutely horrible. Like, I'm sorry, but I can't see you being redeemed at all. Yeah. So in this season, we see her take V, but we don't know what her power is going to be. Yeah.
I think it's coming from her head, and it's going to be very
something to do with her head. Yes, it's going to be something to do with her head. I just hope it's not snakes because.
Well, I'm saying it's Medusa-like, so there will be snakes. But anyway, let's see.
I don't know. Oh man. Anyway, so Ashley, I think, is an interesting one to watch as well.
Ashley, I wouldn't say I've hated her because, like,
she's fun to watch.
She's fun to watch, sure. But, like, I think she just has these moments of being, as you're saying, really human. And she just gets sucked in because of the fact that she has nothing to protect her.
No, she's got nothing. Yeah, so I get why she does it.
She has to fall in line.
Yeah.
You know?
But she doesn't have to do it so enthusiastically.
True.
You know? Like, she has a sadistic nature. Yeah. You know? Yeah. And that's the thing about her. Like, and this is where it's going to be interesting to see in season 5 what she turns out to be. Yeah. Because now she has powers. Yeah. Before this, she was purely human, so she could flip. Yeah. Now, like, is she going to flip? I don't know.
Now it's like, okay, so if the powers do, like, manipulate her and, like, you know, make her out to be not a good person, then I'm like, okay, bye, Ashley. But if she does use those powers for good, so to speak, then I think she deserves a second chance.
Maybe. So we'll see.
Yeah.
I think. Oh,
There's just a lot going on. There's so much going on, and it's just like, you know. But yeah, so like by the end, you know, Butcher embraces the parasite, kills Newman, and then the ending is basically that, you know, there was an attempt on Bob Singer's life. He gets arrested afterwards, when it's leaked that, you know, Victoria Newman is the head popper, and like he knew about it and he wanted to have her killed. And then it's basically Homelander coming into his own power. Yeah. Of, you know, kind of being the one to speak rather than the president, because president is now Speaker of the House Calhoun, and Sage has planned all of this to perfection. There is now, like, all of the soups have been, you know, given the power to basically bring in people who have spoken against Vought. Yeah. And against the government and everything. And we find out through the season that there are, like, internment camps that were owned by Tech Knight. Yeah. And his family. And so now those will probably be used. And so we see the boys separating, and that they've all got their passports and they're all leaving, and then they all get taken one by one. So MM at the airport, and like Huey and Annie are on the road, and Huey gets taken away, and he sort of nods at Annie, and she like booms and flies off.
That was so good.
And Frenchie and Kamiko get separated, and he gets taken by Sam and Kate from Gen V. And we see Kamiko in distress completely, and she speaks her first word for the first time in distress, which was no. Like, she screams no.
Yeah.
And Butcher is sort of on his own mission with the virus that can kill soups, which we learned from Gen V and was then brought into The Boys season 4.
Yep.
And we will see what he is going to use all of that for.
So it's going to be interesting.
And Ryan has, again, either on his own or has gone back to
we don't
Homelander.
know where he is.
When he walks out from killing Grace, we don't see him.
We don't see him after,
so we don't know where he is. But that's kind of where everybody is. ATrain has run off. We see him again in the end of season 2 of Gen V, where he like rushes into frame with Annie, and that was the moment where I was like, I literally was like, and I screamed to see when I saw it. I was like, oh my god, we're excited for ATrain. This is crazy.
So weird.
This is insane. But yeah, that's all basically set up for season 5. We've got the trailer, obviously. It's gonna be really intense from the look of it. Like,
who do you think is going to, is thinking of the big players here? We've got obviously Butcher, Homelander. Ryan is a big player, I feel.
Yeah.
Obviously, we know that Soldierboy is coming back.
Yeah.
Obviously, Huey and Annie and all the main ones, right?
Yeah.
Who do you think is going to 100% cock it? Dead.
100%. Homelander, Butcher. And probably ATrain. I think everybody else is a question mark.
You know what I would love? I think it would be interesting because you know how
I don't want it to be ATrain. I really don't. But I think he probably could die.
So you know how the whole story starts with ATrain?
Yeah.
It would be so interesting if
to end with ATrain. Yeah.
Like in some way.
Like ending with, because it ends with, it starts with him running through Robin, and Huey's there too. So like,
what if he runs through Homelander and dies himself, but also kills Homelander?
I don't know if that is possible, but that's a good one.
Because if Homelander's not ready and he's not bracing for it or whatever, it could possibly happen.
So basically, the premiere was a couple days ago, and Kripke was saying how, like, this is not something where it's going to be. So obviously, this whole time it's been leading to a Homelander versus Butcher.
Yeah.
And that's definitely going to happen. But, and, Carl Urban and Anthony Starr, like, I think fans will really be like, okay, now it's time. Let's see where this goes. And they kind of have said that it's not really going to be like this big, Game of Thrones-y Infinity War Endgame sort of situation where it's like big explosions and, big battles to fight and all this stuff. It is very much still, and that's the beauty of the show. It's always been on the personal level.
Yes.
It's always been so-and-so
it's never been
versus so-and-so.
Infinity War Avengers level stuff.
And so it's not like this big battles that's going to happen between the soups and humans or whatever the hell, So it's very much that Kripke put it as like, don't get too attached to anybody. And I like how he says that as if we haven't had 4 seasons to get attached to people. He's like, anybody could go. Don't get too attached. And I'm just like, you could have told us this in season 1.
It's like saying, don't get attached to Dean Winchester at the end of like season 15.
Yeah.
It's like,
can you imagine? Oh, you shouldn't have been so attached to Dean Winchester. Like, what? No. But anyway.
15 seasons.
Yeah, for 15 seasons. So, it's very much going to be a battle of the personal and what the personal stakes are that could be lost.
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting. And I think, there was some I don't know if it was like fully what Kirby said or like maybe Jesse said it, but there was this talk of like ATrain and his change and his trajectory and how it kind of wasn't really a huge plan. And it just kind of happened organically through the writing. So I hope in that way that the redemption is that the redemption is not fully like, oh, he's so great by the end. But it's still that thing of he's got so much more to grow. Yeah. But he's capable of it now.
My whole thing is, like, I would, like, okay. He's done a lot. He's done a lot of horrible things. So if he dies, I'm okay with that. However, I always have this thing. If you are going to kill a character, number one, it should mean something. Yeah. And number two, it needs to be a good death. Yeah. Right? For ATrain, like, he's done horrible things, but he's also done enough for us to kind of go, yes, he's got a lot to give. Yeah. If we are not going to see that, then you need to give him an epic death. Yeah. You need to give a death that is going to mean something, right? His death needs to mean something. So what that is going to look like, we don't know. Is he going to like take everything down and like be the one that ends it while ending himself? We don't know, right?
I don't know, yeah.
I don't think he's that powerful, but he could very well be part of whatever happens there. Yeah.
Yeah, like we know he's very much a part of the boys, like he's part of the group. We see it through the trailer as well. So we don't understand what.
I don't want him to die uselessly.
No, like,
but I don't have a problem with him dying.
No, I don't have a problem with him dying either. But like you said, it has to mean something, and it has to be worthy of like the time. That he's been on this show.
Yeah, like it has to actually mean like it has to be something. Yeah. You know? Yeah. Deep, I cannot.
Deep could die.
He needs to go.
Deep can die. That's fine.
He needs to go.
Love Chase Crawford. He's done a great job, but Deep needs to die.
Deep needs to go. If he survives this, I'll be like, I'll be like, this is stupid.
Then I'll just be like, okay, I guess they're just keeping him around for cameos in Gen V.
Exactly. Which is just dumb.
That will just be dumb. But anyway.
I feel Soldier Boy is an interesting one for me. Like, keeping him alive, what purpose would that serve, right? Like, we've gotten rid of, again, Homelander. Like, I feel like Homelander needs to go. Yeah, Homelander like, this whole 5 seasons. I used
to say that it would be so great if Homelander lost his powers and became, like, this pathetic man. But now it's like, that could only be possible if they get rid of V entirely.
And there's no way of making
V ever again. Because as long as V is in the world, he could still have power. True. You know? True. And the thing is, like, I think they implied that he is trying to find the first iteration of V that could make him immortal, basically. Which is what Stormfront and Soldier Boy have. Yeah. Well, Stormfront didn't have it. She had the first iteration of V, but not, like, the one that makes them completely immortal.
Soldier Boy basically has that. Yeah. Like, you cannot kill him.
Yeah, unless it's, like, I don't know, really specific way to die or something. But I don't know what keeping him alive would mean. Because it's not gonna because we're gonna see him in the prequel. So like that doesn't necessarily mean he needs to be alive now because we're not gonna see him. So but then like how does he die? Because like they've tried to kill him several times. And several ways.
Maybe the virus is the thing that will do him in.
Maybe.
It could be that.
Could be the virus.
I think it would be really interesting.
Like, of all things, it's the virus, yeah.
I think it would be really interesting if Soldier Boy, not out of the goodness of his heart or anything like that, but more kind of like, I've been around for a while. My mind is messed up. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's up, what's down. I'm done.
No, I don't think he'll do that. He's too much.
I think he's too narcissistic and too selfish to do that.
Too selfish, too narcissistic. He cares a lot about his self-preservation.
True, that's true, actually.
Cares a lot about his image still, weirdly enough.
When you look like that.
Well, I mean, yeah. But, like, hated the fact that he was, being, like, labeled a Russian and, like, a commie and all this stuff. So, yeah. I don't think he'll be
so
like,
maybe he wouldn't do that.
I'm just gonna go ahead and die now.
True, yeah.
No, I don't think he'd do that ever. Maybe it's just that thing of like, this is all over. See ya, I'm out. Like he just leaves, goes off somewhere. I don't know, and we never see him again. But yeah, I don't know what will happen with him.
Yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen.
Everyone
with
else, I think Huey and Annie are fine. I'm so worried about Frenchie and Kimiko.
Yes.
Because it could be either one of them.
I feel Frenchie
is more likely. I feel like Frenchie's more likely.
Like he might sacrifice himself for Kimiko and like the boys.
Yeah,
maybe.
My thing is like if they are going to kill ATrain, then they can't kill off MM.
Yeah.
Like it can't be both. Like it's either one or the other. But I would rather it be ATrain.
True, yeah.
Because I cannot, I'm telling you this now, I cannot lose MM. Like, it will actually just
I think killing MM will be one of the worst decisions.
It will be the worst decisions. It will be so unbelievably devastating.
It will be awful.
Because he everybody who knows me knows this. I love MM. He's my favorite of the boys.
But I think it's beyond that. Like MM is as a character,
he is just so important. Like
he's the only character. If you actually think about this, him and maybe Huey are the only ones who really have a bit of a moral compass.
Yeah, and he's always been the one that's the position of like the heart of this group.
Yeah.
Like, like even Butcher says to him, he's like, no matter what I've done to the boys, you'll always be there to protect them.
Which makes me think he might die.
Yeah. Again, which is like, no matter what I do, you'll always be there to protect them, like to hold them together.
Ooh.
And so, but it's also that thing of like, I see Huey and MM are really interesting. The fact that you mentioned that they are the ones with the moral compass, and they are the ones that are, if you like, yes, like Huey has a lot of forgiveness and a lot of like grace for Butcher, but it's really him and like Huey and MM that are very, very close. Like because
yes,
MM really looks out for Huey a lot
because Butcher abandoned him.
And MM is the kind of person that Huey wishes Butcher could be.
Yes, I agree. I agree.
And it's that thing of like, you are capable of being like this, but you're just not. You're not. Because, there are moments where the humanity comes out of Butcher.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Like really beautiful scenes of him really letting his guard down and being vulnerable.
Yeah.
And he's capable of doing that more often, but he's just so taken up by the agenda.
Like one of the things that I loved about Butcher, especially in like season 2 and season 3, is like his protectiveness towards Ryan, because Butcher hates Homelander. He hates what happened to him. Like the way he starts off with Ryan's like, I don't want anything to do with him, yet he cannot help but love this kid.
Yeah. Because
he's also Becca's. Like that bit inside him. And then we see, his thing with his brother and how he kind of sees Huey as his brother, like Lenny. And so there are these moments of Butcher, but he's just so far gone.
Yeah.
That there's just no turning back.
And I just think the end is that he's going to be so far.
Oh, he is.
He is going to have to die. And I just hope that it's not the ending of the comics where he like takes them all out, like as in the boys, he takes them all out before he dies. And it's the worst ending. Like the comics are really just the worst ending.
Does Homelander die in the comics?
Yes, but I can't remember how.
But yeah, I hope they don't do that.
I hope it doesn't go that way, because like in the comics, Butcher doesn't really have that vulnerability. He doesn't have that human.
He's just awful.
He's just awful the whole time. And they all have V throughout. So, so it's just him being like extra souped up and then taking them out. But this is that thing of like, will they be able to appeal to his humanity?
It'll be interesting.
Or will he just be totally gone and they have to take him out? And
if they do something like a reversal of what the ending is, where instead of him taking it out, he protects them and his way of dying is by saving them. Yeah. I think that would be great.
That would be great. Like, sacrificing himself.
Yeah, sacrifice himself.
Like, I would rather it be
his crew.
I would rather it be he goes out taking out Homelander.
Yes.
Rather than them being like, oh, we have to get rid of Butcher.
Oh, I hope the decision
doesn't come down to them, because that would be really bad too.
I agree. I don't think that would be great. Yeah. I think, interestingly, what's gonna, like, obviously we don't know, but I think I'm really interested to see, like, looking at what the trailer was. We get flashes of Ryan.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see what his situation's going to be.
Yeah.
Is he going to be aligned with Homelander? Is he gonna be aligned with them? I feel personally he's gonna be aligned with no one.
No.
Because the way he leaves at the end, like, because he very clearly doesn't trust Homelander.
Yeah.
He doesn't like Homelander.
Yeah.
Even though he sometimes gets... But he's just a kid, right?
He's just a kid.
But he realizes there's something not right there. Like, there's something not right.
Yeah.
But then he also doesn't trust Butcher. And then when the whole thing with Mallory happens, he walks away. It's almost as if he's, like, switching off his humanity, or, like, just switching off his emotions.
Yeah.
And, like, that whole teenage thing of, like, disassociating. Of, like, I've been through all of this stuff. I literally have no idea who to trust. Everyone just wants to use me. Because ultimately, even Mallory, even though she's saying, I love him, I love you, and, you know, all of that stuff, she still wants to use him.
Yeah.
You know, she just...
To fight his dad.
Fight his dad. Which he's still kind of, like, battling over. Even though he doesn't like him.
Yeah.
It's still his father.
Yeah.
You know, he's already lost his mom. Butcher is gone, basically. And so he's still very much... I feel like he's going to be very much like, I don't want anything to do with you.
Yeah.
Or this thing. Just leave me alone. But he will get drawn in, obviously.
Yeah.
And so it'll be interesting to see what happens there.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to die. I feel him and Zoe, they're going to save for Gen V, possibly. Yeah. I don't know how they're going to use it because they're still quite young. So,
yeah. But anyway, I still could possibly use it. But anyway.
So yeah, like...
Yeah, just a lot that's set up, a lot that needs to be paid off.
I think, you know what would be really good? If when, what's his face? Soldierboy has his freak out moment and blows up. Everyone's powers go. Right? So people die, everyone's powers go, and whatever V is remaining just is gone.
Could be.
I mean, that would be really interesting.
I mean, maybe, but then it's just like, oh, it's convenient, isn't it?
It is convenient. I was a bit too convenient, but I'm just like, that would be kind of cool.
But yeah, like, I think I would like, so he's mostly going to be with Homelander during the season. That's what Jensen has implied. So it's that thing of like, because, you know, Butcher and Huey kind of screwed him over at the end. Like, they turned against him.
Exactly.
So now he's going to be out for them with Homelander. He's going to be also...
But it'll be interesting to see, is he going to then turn on Homelander?
Yeah. Because it'll be that thing of like, because, you know, of course the soups are all out there like recruiting other soups to like do the dirty work of getting people you know, arrested and taking them to camps and all this stuff. So he'll probably be one of those people.
Yeah.
We should point out that Jared Padalecki and Misha Collins were cast for season 5. They are there in the trailer. They're going to be there.
I think one episode?
Either 1 or 2. I don't know. Okay. I believe
this would be so much fun.
I saw maybe a hint from someone say that he could be playing...
Who?
Jared could be playing, because we knew that Jared was a soup. We just didn't know who he was. But someone was saying he is possibly going to play, and I don't know how this person knew this, if this is even true, Mr. Marathon, who was the original speedster in The Seven. And he could be going after ATrain. Ooh! So that would be cool.
That would be very cool. Okay.
Yeah. So the fact that he's wearing like this tracksuit
thing makes
sense. Makes more sense if that's true.
Yeah.
Misha doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know what he is. Don't know what
maybe he's Marathon's boyfriend.
Yeah, Mr. Marathon's boyfriend. I would have preferred him to be a White House staffer because we are going to be in the White House this season. True. And I just that would have been art imitating life. Because Misha was White House staffer under Clinton. So he was an intern.
Oh, that would be very interesting.
So that would have been interesting. But anyway, so it'll be interesting to see what Soulja Boy's involvement is. I know in the trailer there is a moment of him and Homelander going to, I think the place was called Port Harmony, or Fort Harmony Medical Center. Possibly has something to do with the prequel.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll see a flashback there, because I do believe Mason Dye, who plays Bombsight in the prequel, is also in season 5 in some capacity.
Is he the one that was in Stranger Things?
Yes.
Ooh, okay.
So he's there in some capacity. Like, his name is listed there in season 5. So it's possibly a
maybe
flashback,
a flashback, yeah.
and like a little clue to the prequel.
Basically,
probably.
yeah. Like a backdoor.
So anyway, but we'll talk more about the prequel at the end of season 5, because we'll be closer to it at that point. But yeah.
Yeah, so lots to look forward to.
Lots to look forward to. I'm really excited about season 5. I mean, I'm excited, but I'm also scared.
I'm excited and I'm scared, but I think with the nature of this show, I think it's one of those things where, it's going to be heartbreaking when someone dies, but at the same time, it's not like Bridgerton, where it's like surprising when someone dies.
Yeah,
you
like
know?
That's the thing with the show is like, and it was funny that Eric recently said like he sort of like came down on some sci-fi shows not being able to kill people off, i.e. Stranger Things. Didn't name it, but we knew what he was implying, and it being like, oh well, everything's fine and everything's okay, and like all this stuff.
The vibe of Stranger Things is so different.
And I get what he means though. Like my mind went to Stranger Things, but he's also talking about other things too. Because, like, there are some shows where it's like, oh, is it really supposed to be all okay? Like, how has no one died yet? You know? So it is something like that. But, like, it's the thing with the show. There's the beauty of the show is, like, it is okay for people to go out.
Yeah.
You know?
It is fine.
Like, look at the world that they're in. Like, it makes sense.
It makes sense.
So as much as I didn't like Victoria Newman dying, because we lost my girl Claudia.
True.
But, it made sense in a way, you know?
For me, it didn't actually make a lot of sense, because then it would have been interesting to see her role in season 5.
Yeah, I would have
preferred
her
at the same
to
time,
be.
if she's being used as a device to kind of go, okay, Butcher has lost his mind.
Yeah.
Okay,
the
fine,
mission was to kill her, so he killed her.
Yeah, I will accept that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, it's going to be interesting. What date is it coming out?
April 8th, it's starting. So we're getting episode 1 and 2 as the season premiere. And then it's week to week after that.
So we're going to talk about it once the season ends?
Well, no, we're going to talk about 1 to 4 after episode 4, because it'll just make sense.
Yeah, we'll break
it
up.
And then 5 to 8 at the end.
All right.
And
that sounds like
talk about the finale and all that stuff. So.
Yeah, I think that'll be good to look at that. Yeah, it's just...
Yeah.
Interesting to see what's
Love
gonna
the
happen.
show. Hope that, Eric was talking about like, the whole stick the landing thing, and he's like, it's always really nerve-wracking. It's the most nerve-wracking thing to be able to be like, okay, how are we going to end this show? And he's like, and I don't want to get too enthusiastic. I don't want to like overcompensate. But he's just like, I think it's a good ending. I believe it to be. Yeah. And it makes sense for this show, and I hope the fans will feel the same way, because he's like, it's the worst. It's the most pressure that you could ever be under, and I don't envy it. He's like, I don't envy other shows that have had to do the same thing. It's really difficult, and it always reminds me of Supernatural at the end of season 5, where he's like, endings are hard. Like, any chap-ass monkey with a keyboard can poop out at the beginning, but endings are impossible. I could go through that whole speech, but I'm not going to. But anyway. Yeah. So yeah, it's really hard, but remains to be seen what it's going to be. What it's going to be. And I'm excited, but I'm apprehensive. I'm nervous too. But still, like, more excited than nervous.
Exactly. All right. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Follow us, like us, subscribe to us if you're listening on YouTube. Otherwise, if you are listening to us on any other platform, just follow us and leave us a comment or something and tell us what you're excited about for season 5 of The Boys. And in the meantime, we will
talk to you next time.